Welcome to the Alcohol Reset, the podcast that helps you reset your habits, health, and relationship with alcohol without judgment or extremes. If you're looking to cut back, take a break, or just understand how drinking can affect your body and mind, you're in the right place. Each episode brings you science-backed insights on neuroscience, nutrition, and habit change to help you feel better, sleep deeper, and take control on your terms. I'm Mike Hardenbrook, best-selling author, neuroscience enthusiast, and habit change expert. I've helped thousands through my book and podcast to rethink their drinking, and now I'm here to help you do the same. Let's get started. Hey there. You ever had one of those mornings? You know, the ones, maybe just a couple of glasses of red wine the night before, but your head feels like someone's playing drums inside it, and your body's just protesting every single move. But then, maybe another night, you have the same number of drinks, let's say vodka sodas, and you wake up feeling, well, surprisingly okay, almost human even. Or maybe for you, it's tequila. It's fine, let you bounce back pretty easily. But a night with whiskey, whoa, completely floors you for like 48 hours straight. I promise you, it's not just bad luck. It's nothing, personal curse you've got. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain a bit. We're going to look at exactly why certain alcoholic drinks can lead to far, far worse hangovers than others. It's actually a really fascinating look into the science, what actually happens inside your body after you drink. I'm Mike Hardenbrook, by the way. I wrote a book called No Willpower Required. And what I found digging into this stuff, well, understanding the science is way easier and honestly more effective than just trying to tough out a hangover with sheer willpower. Trust me on that. Now, most of us kind of just assume, right, that hangovers are all about how much you drank. And yeah, sure, quantity definitely plays a part, can't deny that. But often, that gets overshadowed by the type of alcohol and how it's made, how it's aged, even what you mix it with. These things can dramatically change how you feel the next day. Seriously. So this isn't just about explaining, why last Saturday felt worse than Friday. Knowing this stuff genuinely empowers you. If you choose to drink, it lets you make smarter choices, more informed choices. You can minimize the damage, potentially recover way faster. Think of this as your little shortcut to understanding your morning after self a whole lot better. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's uncover the real villains behind those truly awful hangovers. The primary drivers, well, they're these interesting little compounds. They're called Congeners. Yeah, kind of weird word. But think of them as basically toxic byproducts. They get created naturally during fermentation, during the aging process of alcohol. They're essentially the impurities that give different drinks their unique flavors, their colors. And unfortunately, yeah, they're very distinct hangover potential. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Darker drinks. They're absolutely loaded with these congeners. We're talking whiskey, brandy, dark rum, and yes, that infamous red wine. On the other hand, clearer spirits, things like vodka, gin, even tequila blanco, they have way lower levels, significantly lower. So kind of a general rule of thumb, the darker the drink, the nastier your hangover might be. Not always, but often. That really specific red wine headache, that throbbing kind, you can blame the congeners for that. Especially compounds like histamines in some wines, which can trigger almost an allergic reaction in some people. And that just crushing fatigue after a night of whiskey, that feeling that lasts forever. Again, congeners are playing a huge role there. They tax your system way beyond just the alcohol, the ethanol itself. A lot of people think, oh, clear spirit, no hangover. But even vodka has trace amounts. It's just dramatically less than, say, bourbon. But wait, congeners aren't the only troublemakers. Next up. Let's talk sugar. Those really tasty sweet cocktails, maybe dessert wines, or even just mixing your drink with like regular soda pop. That adds a significant amount of sugar on top of the alcohol you're already drinking. And this creates a real metabolic mess, a double whammy for your system. You get this super rapid spike in blood sugar, followed by an equally dramatic crash later on. And the whole rollercoaster thing, it just intensifies headaches. It makes the fatigue way worse. And it can even trigger those weird, often pretty unhealthy food cravings the next day. You know what I mean? It's not just about the calories, folks. It's about the metabolic chaos it causes, especially when your body's already super busy trying to process the alcohol itself. It's just too much. Okay, then there's the classic problem, dehydration. We all know alcohol makes you run to the bathroom more often, right? It's pretty obvious. But have you ever really stopped to think why? It's because alcohol is a diuretic. It literally makes your body flush out more fluids than you're taking in. And that leads directly to dehydration, which is like a primary driver of almost all hangover symptoms. The headache, the dry mouth, the dizziness. Yep, dehydration's involved. Now imagine adding caffeine to that mix, like in a rum and coke, or maybe an espresso martini. Those are popular now. You're basically turbocharging that diuretic effect. You're making your body even more parched. And potentially making your hangover quite a bit worse, dramatically worse even. It's kind of like trying to fill a leaky bucket while simultaneously poking more holes in it. It doesn't work so well. All right, what about mixing drinks? There's that old saying, right? Beer before liquor, never sicker. Liquor before beer, never fear, or something like that. Well, it's not perfect science, but there's definitely some truth to the idea that mixing can cause chaos. When you combine different types of alcohol, say beer, then wine, then maybe some whiskey, you're often throwing a much wider variety of those congeners we talked about into your system. And different types of sugars too, potentially, all at once. Think about it like this. Your liver breaks down ethanol, the main alcohol, into something called acetaldehyde. That's the main toxic thing everyone deals with after drinking. It's nasty stuff. But on top of that, when you mix drinks, especially darker ones, you're layering in these extra bonus toxins, the different congeners from each drink. It's like a double dose of trouble for your body. And this really, really overloads your liver, which, remember, it's already working its tail off just processing the ethanol. It just makes recovery take longer. It can definitely amplify those horrible morning after effects. Your liver can only handle so much. But of course, look, it's never just about the drink itself. It can't be that simple. Your own individual biology plays a massive part in all this. Huge. Things like your genetics, your hydration level before you even have that first drink, what you ate that day, even how much sleep you got the night before. All these things matter a lot. What's really fascinating is how differently people metabolize alcohol. Some people process the ethanol itself really quickly, but others are genetically more sensitive to that acetaldehyde, that really toxic byproduct we mentioned. So your body tries to break down alcohol into less harmful stuff, but that intermediate step, acetaldehyde, is basically poison. Way more toxic than the alcohol itself. So if your body makes acetaldehyde quickly or clears it out slowly, you're going to feel worse, much worse. You know, like a large percentage of people with East Asian heritage have a genetic variation. It makes them process acetaldehyde much slower. So they often get that flushing reaction, nausea, bad headache really fast. That's why two people can drink the exact same amount of the exact same thing, but wake up feeling completely different. It really is personal chemistry. And, you know, while one rough night might not break you, it's probably worth thinking about the long game too, just for a second. Research suggests that frequent exposure to those high congener drinks, the whiskeys, the brandies, it's been linked to increased oxidative stress, basically more wear and tear on your cells, and definitely more strain on your liver over time. So it's not just about feeling rough the next morning. Chronic intake of those heavier drinks seems to hit your organs harder over the years. Think of it like your body's daily cleanup crew is already busy. High congener drinks just throw a massive party they weren't expecting, making a bigger mess. Repeatedly doing that, well, it can contribute to damage over time. Maybe even speed up aging at a cellular level. Again, not trying to be preachy here, just laying out what the science seems to show. Okay, except for all that, what can you actually do about it? This is where knowing this stuff really pays off, right? If you are going to drink, here are some practical, science-backed ways to potentially minimize the pain. Making smarter choices. First off, consider lighter spirits. Obvious one now may be stick to things like vodka, gin, tequila blanco. They just have fewer of those nasty congeners. Simple as that. Second, hydrate. I can't say this enough. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Try alternating every alcoholic drink with a full glass of water. Seriously, it's your best defense against dehydration. Third, avoid sugary mixers, please. Your head will thank you. Keep it simple. Go for soda water, maybe a splash of fresh lime. Or just have it meter on the rocks. Less sugar, less metabolic chaos. Fourth, try not to mix everything, especially not dark liquors, different wines, and beers all in one section. It just limits the crazy cocktail of congeners and sugars your poor liver has to deal with. And finally, number 5, always eat before drinking, and maybe during if possible. Having food in your stomach slows down how quickly the alcohol gets absorbed, gives your body more time to process it, and helps buffer against those wild blood sugar swings. Now, beyond just avoiding certain things, there are also some supportive ingredients, things research suggests might help your body cope. One is called N-acetylcysteine, or just NAC. NAC actually helps your liver neutralize that nasty acetaldehyde toxin we keep mentioning. It does this by supporting your body's own production of something called glutathione. Glutathione is often called the master antioxidant. It's super important for detoxifying your body, protecting your cells. So NAC is kind of like providing the building blocks for your body's natural defense system, meaning potentially less oxidative stress, maybe a smoother recovery. It's pretty cool stuff. Then there's milk thistle. You might have heard of that one. It's really well known for protecting liver cells from damage and supporting detox pathways, which is especially helpful after you've maybe indulged in those heavier high congener drinks like whiskey or red wine. Milk thistle seems to actually boost the liver's natural ability to cleanse itself. But look, think of these things NAC, milk thistle as supportive tools, right? They can help your system. They're definitely not magic bullets. They don't give you a free pass to go crazy. So, wrapping this all up, what does it all mean for you? It means hangovers are definitely not just a random lottery based on how many drinks you poured. Not at all. They are profoundly scientifically influenced by what you poured. Darker liquor, sugary cocktails, mixing different kinds of drinks, they all stack the deck against you. They make it harder for your body to recover. But the good news, the really good news, as always, is that knowing the science empowers you. It really does. It gives you the ability to make smarter choices, to manage things better, minimize the fallout, bounce back faster. It's about drinking smarter, maybe not harder. And it's definitely not about relying on sheer willpower alone to feel better the next day. That rarely works. So here's a final thought for you. Next time you're reaching for a drink, maybe pause for just a second and consider, are you just making a simple beverage choice? Or are you actually, consciously or unconsciously, setting the stage for how you're going to feel, how you're going to function all of tomorrow? The difference between a decent morning and a truly awful one might just be a little bit of this knowledge, and maybe a few smart swaps. Now that is something worth thinking about. Until next time, this is Mike Hardenbrook reminding you that understanding the why behind your habits, that's always the first step to truly feeling your best. Take care. That's a wrap for today's episode. If you got something out of this, do me a quick favor, leave a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. It helps keep the show going and would mean the world to me. Got ideas, comments, or questions? Shoot me an email at mike@trycloud9.com. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're looking for extra support, check out Cloud9, makers of Daily Restore, a once-a-day supplement to support your body from alcohol's effects, and Rise and Unwind AM/PM, a 24-hour combo to curb cravings, balance mood, and improve sleep when taking a break. Go to trycloud9.com and use the code PODCAST to save 15% on your next order. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.